Assassin bugs. If you live in the bottom 2/3 of the United States, then listen up. This one's for you. Meet the assassin bug, also known as the kissing bug, a half-inch to 1-inch long black or brown bug with red dots and a broad, flat back. If they had a dating profile, it would read, "I love mammals, no preference on what kind, and I love kissing." Oh, and by kissing, I mean biting around your eyes and mouth, causing bite marks, redness, and swelling. Oh, and I have a disease. I spread a parasite that causes the Chagas disease. But it's no biggie. This disease only causes potentially fatal organ failure. If you find assassin bugs in your house, having entered uninvited of course, it is essential to get rid of them. Call pest control, seal cracks and crevices, and use bug-safe lighting. It also helps to install screens on your doors as an extra deterrent. If you happen to be out in the woods during late spring and summer, then be on the lookout, for they are in abundance during this time of the year while searching for a new house and mate. Number 9. Brazilian Wandering Spider. You know something's pretty good at what it does when it ends up in the Guinness Book of World Records. In the case of the Brazilian wandering spider, we won't be in a hurry to get too close and congratulate it for being the world's most venomous spider. This charming critter has enough potent venom to take down children and lives in most parts of Brazil. Fortunately, there is anti-venom available, which means that anyone who has been bitten and can access the anti-venom will likely be okay. What's more, the damage it can do is dependent on how much venom it inserts when biting. Within a few minutes, people can feel burning at the bite site, high or low blood pressure, a fast or slow heartbeat, nausea, blurred vision, and excessive sweating. Intense pain is near guaranteed as well. This spider grows up to around 2 inches long with a 6-inch leg span and a brown and hairy body with black spots. They wander around on forest floors in search of their prey and don't build webs. Instead, they prefer the more direct approach of ambush and attack. Basically, this spider is a real delight. Number 8. Tsetse fly. Most people probably presume that the mosquito is one of the most awful insects in the world. They're by no means pleasant or charming, but you clearly haven't met the tsetse fly to make a comparison. They make the mosquito look like Mother Teresa. Mosquitoes, when they bite, furrow their mouth into your blood, often without you noticing. The tsetse has a more direct approach. Their mouths have serrations on them, like a steak knife, and they will saw into your skin to suck out your blood. If that's not bad enough, they transmit diseases while causing you extreme pain at the same time. The most common one is called human African trypanosomiasis, or sleeping sickness, which can be fatal without treatment. Once bitten, twice shy. Once bitten and you contract the disease, you can start to feel a little feverish and headachy. Before long, you get sore muscles and tired. Very tired. Poor coordination, a change to your personality, and confusion can follow. By then, the disease may have already entered the brain. Fortunately, numbers for this condition are dropping, and the World Health Organization is optimistic that they can completely eradicate it. Number 7. Deer tick. The deer tick. Looks innocent enough, right? As it turns out, there's probably more risk associated with this tick than, say, a bird-eating tarantula. See, that's why appearances should never fool you. The tiny deer tick is a brown or rusty red colored critter that's mostly found throughout the eastern half of the US. They get their name from their preferred snack, the white-tailed deer, but they can then move on to other mammals, like us. Humans tend to be more of an accidental host, and we're certainly a plan B to a delicious deer. However, if a human does end up as a host to a deer tick, it can be quite severe. They can cause Lyme disease, a condition that causes a rash, flu-like symptoms, joint pain, and weakness. While most people recover without assistance, it can be a serious condition for anyone with weakened immune systems. It's also not uncommon for people to contract the POPCAAN virus, another tick-related condition that's found in North America and the far eastern parts of Russia. There is no antiviral drug or vaccine, and it can cause a potentially fatal brain infection called encephalitis. Number 6. Bullet ant. They say that nothing can compare to being shot with a gun. But then you get bit by a bullet ant and you say, you know what, I think I would prefer to be shot with a gun. The pain is so severe from the bite of a bullet ant that most people would rather be hit by a slow-moving car, be non-fatally shot with a gun, or go through childbirth 3 times over. Entomologist Justin Schmidt, who measures the pain from insect stings and has been stung by over 150 species, says it is the worst pain known to man. And that's coming from a crazy insect man who wants to be stung. If that doesn't convince you enough that the bite of a bullet ant hurts more than nearly anything else on Earth, then nothing will. They are one of the largest ant species in the world at over an inch long and live in the South American rainforest. And we're pretty happy to say they can stay there. So why does their bite hurt so much? Well, the venom messes with our nerve function and stops them from communicating properly. It also lengthens the signal sending time from a nerve, which causes that extreme gunshot-like pain. Number 5. Sandflies. Sandflies, they don't seem so bad. Sure, they're annoying and they cause itchy little bumps, but they're completely harmless, right? Wrong. Yeah, they're definitely annoying, as most people who have been trying to enjoy a trip to the beach or a picnic will let you know. But they can also carry diseases, which they then transmit to humans while on the hunt for fresh blood. Sandflies are tiny, at about 1/8 of an inch long, and they are active during dusk and dawn. They live in most tropical and subtropical climates, and they tend to prefer areas with moss, mud, moisture, and decaying plant life. The southern states of the US are where you'll find the largest populations of them. For the most part, anyone bitten by a sandfly will get a red bump and blister. Sometimes, though, inflammation and dermatitis can follow, not to mention severe skin sores for weeks or months after the bite. They can also cause parasitic diseases that require ongoing medical care. Fortunately, calamine lotion or hydrocortisone cream can reduce itching and help them heal. Anyone with an ulcer or persistent sore should see a doctor. Number 4. Giant silkworm moth caterpillar. To look at the giant silkworm moth, you'd never in 1,000 years guess that its offspring were murderers. That's like looking at a new mom and thinking, I bet that baby's a serial killer when its mom's not watching. But believe it or not, the silkworm caterpillar, the moth's baby, is responsible for several deaths every year. It has little spines all over its body that puncture the human skin. If that's not bad enough, then the release of the venom is. Poisoning can cause bleeding throughout the body, and the severity of the side effects can depend on how much venom has been released into the body. Thousands of poisoning cases are recorded every year, but not all end in death, fortunately. The worst part is, even people who know to avoid these insects are still at risk. Sometimes they can fall out of trees onto people who are merely passing by. So if you find yourself in South America, be it Argentina, Brazil, or somewhere else, be on the lookout for these spiny psychopaths. They're out to get ya. Number 3. Red widow spiders. If you thought the black widow spider was terrible, and it is, then you haven't met the red widow spider. For your sake, we hope you never do.
But as you can see, she's not really interested in...
Red widow spiders have black abdomens and a red and orange head and thorax. Sometimes they have red spots with yellow outlines on their stomach, which make them stand out from the crowd. They most often exist around scrub habitats in the southeast and central Florida, and even more so around Martin County and Marion County. Now that we've told you where they are, you can now do your best to avoid them. They're venomous and can be harmful to humans. The female carries a neurotoxin which is not only uncomfortable, but can cause muscle spasming that carries on for years. That's right, it's not just temporary discomfort, but a potential ongoing injury that impacts your life forever. Aside from the spasming, the only other way to know that a red widow has bitten you is the localized redness and a clear lymph ooze from the bite site. While a bite from a red widow is unlikely to be fatal, it's not exactly a walk in the park either. Number 2. Arizona bark scorpions. If you're a bit squeamish, scared, or just downright terrified of insects and small critters, and somehow you've made it this far into the video, maybe you want to look away. The Arizona bark scorpion is one of those creatures that can't help but send shivers up your spine.
Jeez.
They love trees, so stay away from those, but did you know that they'll also hang from your ceiling and crawl across them? Nowhere is safe from the Arizona bark scorpion. They're small in size, light brown in color, and they are native to the Sonoran Desert. Therefore, if you live in Phoenix, Arizona, you're gonna want to know a few things about this critter so that you can avoid it. They hunt at night, so you can expect to see them out and about once the sun disappears. They're also typically non-aggressive, which is bound to make you breathe a sigh of relief. Most stings are accidental, but that doesn't make them hurt any less. The sting of an Arizona bark scorpion is excruciating, but they are rarely fatal. There have only been 2 fatalities in Arizona since record keeping began in the 1960s. Number 1. Termites. Termites. The dreaded termites. Want to know why they're dangerous? Because without prevention or treatment, you can end up homeless. They will literally eat your house without a care for where you'll end up. They are easily one of the most selfish insects around. Termites live in dry wood, which means they'll not discriminate when it comes to which part of your home they will eat. Foundations, door frames, windows, they'll munch on it all. They'll even eat your prized furniture if it's tasty enough, and the skirting boards around your property too. Fortunately, they don't operate quietly in the background. You will likely know if you have a termite problem. You'll hear banging in the walls, which is termites banging their heads and bodies against the wood. You may even notice flying termites, which indicates that the establishment of a new colony has occurred. If your home's wood seems papery or hollow, then there's a chance it's been eaten from the inside out. Termites are not an insect you want to play games with. Even though they may not be fatally poisonous to you, they certainly can be to your home. Bugs and spiders are creepy enough with how they look, but then you give them the power to hurt you and they're 10 times worse. Have you ever been bitten or stung by any of these before? What was it like? Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on screen right now. See you next time.